Red Bull Racing's new car for 2024 was supposed to fix its problems and help the team stay on top. But after qualifying in Monaco, Max Verstappen revealed a shocking truth about the new design that didn't work. The car's hidden weakness is now out in the open, leaving fans and experts stunned. What exactly went wrong, and what does this mean for Red Bull's future? So, join us in this video as we uncover the details of this surprising revelation. Monaco was already a tough Grand Prix for Red Bull Racing before the race weekend began. McLaren and Ferrari caught up in 2024, so Red Bull needed everything to go perfectly to get the best result. Max Verstappen wasn't surprised when he only managed to qualify in 6th place. It all started when Verstappen entered qualifying, hoping to set a new record for the most consecutive pole positions in F1 history. He had claimed 8 in a row from Abu Dhabi last year to Imola last weekend. However, his hopes of surpassing Ayrton Senna were dashed as his fears about the challenging Monaco track came true. The RB20 struggled on the tight, twisty Monte Carlo circuit. During practice, Verstappen complained about the car's ride and balance. After qualifying, he admitted the issues were still present. While his rivals could attack the circuit, he said, "I was forced to stay off the curbs." Verstappen's troubles worsened on his final lap of the session. Exiting the Saint-Devote corner, he hit the barriers, ending any chance of improving his time. This mistake left him starting in 6th place for Sunday's race. Speaking after stepping out of the car, Verstappen said, "To be honest, I was positively surprised all the way until Q3 that we were actually looking like we were in the mix. It was a big surprise to me, but it's just like driving on a knife's edge. I can't drive on the curbs, to be honest. That's why we are losing so much time in Sector 2. I have to drive around everything while everyone else plows over it. It costs a lot of lap time. The car is like a go-kart over the curbs and the bumps, so it's just incredibly difficult. If you turn in 1 centimetre too late, you might bounce half a metre more to the left or right, making it very unpredictable." He added, "We were very good in the medium to high speed, where you don't have the bumps so much. So that's where I felt really comfortable. And it was actually a lot of fun to drive, but we lost too much in all the low speed." Verstappen is braced for a similarly difficult race day in the Principality as he gets set to wrestle his car for 78 laps and put himself in a position to capitalize on any potential drama. He further expressed his frustration after qualifying in Monaco. He said, "It's not going to be enjoyable. Every lap that I have done so far in the low speed, it's a challenge to be consistent." Verstappen explained the strategy for the race. "Of course, in the race, you don't push it to the limit. Everyone is saving the car and just making sure you have the tyres to go with it. We'll all calm down a little bit. But we don't have the fastest car anyway, so all the cars that are ahead of us are faster. We'll just try to follow. It's Monaco, things can happen, but I also don't expect miracles." Reflecting on the ongoing issues, he said, "It's also not something new. I mean, we have had this problem since 2022. Of course, for the last 2 years, I think we had a car advantage, so then it gets masked a little bit because we gain in the corners where the curbs and the bumps are not that much of a limitation, but with everyone catching up naturally, when you're not improving your weakest point, you get found out, and that's what happened this weekend." Red Bull's new car concept for 2024 aimed to fix these weaknesses, but Verstappen made it clear that the car has not improved. When asked by GP Blog if the new car was any better, he said, "It's the same, like 22, 23, it's the same." Shouldn't the new car have improved? Yeah, well, it was supposed to be, but it didn't happen. Red Bull's struggles at Monaco were also evident from Sergio Perez's performance. Known for his skill on street circuits, Perez could only manage P18 in qualifying. According to Verstappen, this is a clear indication that something fundamentally wrong with the car is at play. Verstappen noted, "Perez is always strong on street circuits, yet he couldn't get beyond P18. This shows there's a serious issue with our car." The disappointing results for both drivers highlight the challenges Red Bull is facing with their current car setup, especially on a track like Monaco, where precision and handling are crucial. What could be the actual reason? As Max Verstappen admitted on Saturday, Red Bull's car struggled with the curbs and bumps of the Monte Carlo track. This exposed inherent weaknesses in the car that were masked when the team had a comfortable performance margin over rivals. Now that this margin is gone, these issues have come to the forefront. Red Bull's troubles were compounded by the fact that adjusting the car to softer settings made the situation worse. Team principal Christian Horner suggested that suspension tweaks made this year might be the culprit. The V-carb RB car was running with our suspension from last year and didn't seem to have the same issues, he said. So we need to understand if it's something that we've introduced. Horner pointed out that the problem is not new. We saw it in Singapore last year as well, he said. So we've had another example of that. We know it's an area of the car we need to work on. The issue also affected their performance in Monaco, suggesting that the suspension changes might be causing more harm than good. Despite these challenges, Yuki Tsunoda and Daniel Ricciardo had a better time in Monaco, indicating that the problem might be specific to the Red Bull cars rather than a general issue with their setup. So what could be causing these troubles? The root of the problem likely lies in the car's suspension system, failing to provide the necessary stability and grip on bumpy and curb-heavy tracks. This affects the car's ability to maintain optimal performance, especially in low-speed technical circuits like Monaco and Singapore. What did Red Bull change? Red Bull Racing has used a pull rod layout at the front and a push rod layout at the rear of its car since the regulations changed in 2022. They have continually optimized this design to stay competitive. However, these optimizations might now be causing problems. While there are limits to how much the suspension's kinematic performance can be improved, there have been opportunities to refine this area for aerodynamic benefits. Pursuing these aerodynamic gains may have compromised the car's ability to handle the curbs and bumps effectively. It's a classic trade-off in Formula One, balancing losses in one area, ride quality, against gains in another, aerodynamics. If the team found a way to slightly degrade the suspension's operating range but significantly improve aerodynamic performance, they might have considered it worthwhile. This trade-off could have been acceptable when the car was performing on smooth tracks, where aerodynamic efficiency was paramount. However, this compromise becomes a significant issue on bumpy tracks like Monaco, where the car's ride quality is crucial. The mechanical compromises that were acceptable when Red Bull had a clear performance margin over its rivals are now problematic because the competition is much closer. More development challenges. Red Bull Racing has made several changes to its car's front suspension over the regulation cycle to enhance performance. Despite these changes, the team has maintained the overall layout using a high-mounted, novel monoarm design for the upper wishbone. The rear leg is mounted low to increase anti-dive and improve aerodynamics. Throughout the 3 years of these regulations, Red Bull has progressively modified the chassis and bulkhead. They have carved out more of the keel to improve airflow beneath the car, moving the inboard position of the lower suspension elements and the steering assembly accordingly. Additionally, Red Bull has adjusted the car's wheelbase to find a better front-to-rear mechanical and aerodynamic balance. The issues Red Bull faces seem to stem from a combination of their higher downforce aero package and the lower speeds on bumpy street circuits like Monaco. To cope with the uneven track surface and ride the curbs, they had to soften the suspension and raise the car's ride height. This adjustment led to poor driver response and difficulty getting on the throttle out of corners. Max Verstappen's difficulties in Monaco highlighted these issues. "The car is like a go-kart over the curbs and bumps," he said. "I have to drive around everything while everyone else is just ploughing over it." The team's inability to find a solution compounded this problem, as softer settings only made the situation worse. Team principal Christian Horner suggested that tweaks to this year's suspension might be the culprit. "We need to understand if it's something that we've introduced," he said, noting that the problem also occurred in Singapore last year. The team must now identify and address these weaknesses to regain its competitive edge. So what do you think of the shocking revelation by Verstappen about Red Bull's hidden weaknesses? Comment below and subscribe for more.